Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die, they stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for support if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye.
All right, friends, what's happening? What's going on? Welcome to CoinMerge Technologies AMA with Bad Idea AI. Longtime friends, longtime collaborative partners over here, Mr. Lightspeed. Been working with him for well over 2 years now, kind of from some of the height of 2021 bull market. And, he's gained a ton of experience in the space since we first met him and quickly become one of the most impressive kind of executives, I guess you could call him, within the crypto space. He knows how to do everything pretty much himself, and that kind of attitude is partially what pulled him up into Bad Idea AI as one of the lead communicators for the token itself. So how you doing, Mr. Lightspeed? Would love to get a mic check and any other speakers that you'd like to come up here.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. And yeah, we go back quite a long ways now, and I owe a lot of what I have learned because of you guys. So I appreciate this long relationship. It's rare in the space that you can trust somebody, and you guys are definitely in that area for sure. I'm going to go through here and see if there's anybody I see that stands out that we can bring up to the speaker spot. Otherwise, if they would like to jump up, they can raise a hand, or I'll let you handle that part of it. But thank you for having me here. There's so much we can talk about with CoinMerge. There's so many intersection points that we can work together and collaborate on, and we can work through those as we get into it.
Yeah, absolutely, ma'am. 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely. So the purpose of this AMA, just for anyone listening, and yeah, of course, I'll hand the speaker requests and anything of that nature. But the purpose of this AMA is to kind of talk about what Bad Idea AI is doing, get that information out there for people who might be out of the loop, talk about what CoinMerge Technologies is doing with our tech in particular, and talk about potential ways, intersectionality between the work that we're doing and ways that we could collaborate and kind of work together as a community to build both of our brands, to build Shibarium. And I definitely think we should talk about Shiba Inu and Shibarium a little bit within this space as well. And just kind of overall, how to ultimately bring both our investor bases to growth as well as a result of that. Of course, not guaranteed, not financial advice and all that can be said as well. But maybe what we can do to start off here is just kind of break down what your tech is, and then we can break down what CoinMerge tech is, and then we can talk a little bit about the intersectionality, and then we could talk a little bit about the future of Shibarium and as it relates to us towards the end, if that makes sense to you.
Absolutely. So I'll talk about the tech that we're working on. The most visible one is the Bad Idea AI chatbot system. And I call it a system because it's actually a combination of 3 AI agents that work together. And I can share the Medium link later on that. But that's the most visible one. It's a grand experiment. Bad Idea AI invented the token itself. It started with a very, very early prototype that gave it a kind of like a crypto bro personality and said, I'm tired of meme tokens. I want one that has some utility. What should we call it? And the AI came back and said, we should call it Bad Idea AI. And it should have this many number of tokens and all that. And that's where the idea came that, you know what, we'll experiment with AI to be a part of our governance model. For example, when we do get a DAO stood up, AI has to be a partner in it somehow. And so we got to think through that. How's that going to work? How are we going to have a relationship with AI? How can we use AI to improve our capabilities as a project? What do we list on? And so The AI made its own white paper. It made its own website. It's making the version 2.0 of our website right now. It's picked our exchanges early on. We had lots of discussions with the AI. We had lots of agents debate in the chat room to narrow down the exchanges that we would list on. And we let the AI choose. And I think that's where a lot of the community misses the boat. Why aren't we going on this, or why aren't we going on that? Well, because we're allowing AI to have a say. Likewise, we got another one under wraps, another piece of technology that's under wraps. We're keeping that one secret because in crypto, ideas get stolen so fast, especially really good ones. And before you know it, someone's ripped you off, taken it, and moved out. So we are keeping one under wraps. That's exciting. This one far surpasses my ability to code. We got some other brains on it. But everybody that works on this stuff is somebody from the community. And that's also what makes us a bit unique, is that in order to move forward on Bad Idea AI, someone with some exceptional skills needs to rise up. For example, we got Bad Idea AI's website, news site, as an example.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love actually just to talk a little bit about the role of the governance element of it with the AI, but then also, the bot that we see in our Telegram. Is that all the same like algorithm? Is it the same bot that you're asking? Like are you asking its opinion about what we should do with bad AI, or what exactly does that look like, and what is the difference between the bot that I see in the CoinMerge Telegram that kind of gives retweets, and maybe talk about those features as well while you're there?
We've since expanded it. Now you can, if you're an admin, you can type the menu command and select options for you, so you can actually shift its mode. I'm actually thinking of creating a governance mode to make it real dial in. But what the bot that you have in your group is exactly the same one that we have in ours. It has all the same capabilities, and it's all about prompting and educating everybody how to make a good prompt. You just don't say, should we list on Bitmart, and expect to get a good answer. It'll probably say, sure, knock yourself out, have at it. Because it likes to be agreeable. So it's all about good prompting. And so we use that also as a teaching example for people on how to use it. But it's exactly the same thing. It uses the same features. It has its own, we have our own knowledge banks. So if you have a crypto project that you would love to see the bot get smart on, I'd be happy to add that knowledge base into the project, and just reach out to me.
Nice. Can you break down the major reasons that, like, potentially if there's people in here that have telegrams that don't have Bad Idea AI are going to want that, lay out some potential use cases for them, some benefits to having the bad bot in the community, and I'll jump in, obviously.
Sure. Well, it's used the most in private. I think we're approaching 10,000 unique IDs, and that's all I can really track our ID numbers. So it protects people's privacy. And that's another one. We use encryption through every step of the way to protect everyone's privacy. And all logs are deleted rather rapidly. So there's nothing really persistent in our data. A lot of use in direct messages because people have some private things they want to talk to the AI about. And they can set the mode to a standard mode or a scholar mode. Like we've noticed people have been using it for school. And the cool thing is that it's free right now. And if we can keep up our current freemium model, we're providing this level of AI for everyone using this freemium concept we have. And it's just very difficult just to maintain the AI's connection with a person on Telegram, but we managed to do that, and it's something that's been pretty fun. But also, it participates unprompted in groups, and the whole idea is that it's part of the social commentary that's going on in your Telegram channel, and so it uses the Shiv paper for its principles. And if something lines up with the themes and it finds it interesting enough, it will reply. And that's something we've been fine tuning a lot lately, especially in the last 24 hours to try and make it a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that obviously would over the course of, say, a year or 2 years, it would become more and more refined. The prompts, the responses would feel more natural, and I assume to some degree as well, there's going to be a desire for a certain amount of customizability within those algorithms, depending on the mood and vibe of the chat that it's in. I mean,
Yeah.
business-like, if it's a more business-like company that has this installed, maybe they don't want like bark, bark, woof, woof. The ship
Yeah,
is, like,
exactly.
and maybe if it's like a fun meme token, it does want all that. Or maybe there's one that's a little more edgy and it wants like a darker bad idea AI. I remember one version of it that I saw in the chat in the early days of bad was extremely sarcastic,
Oh gosh.
mean, and I loved it. And if I can get that back, I'd love to. So I'm sure that some level of customizability in terms of of what bad idea AI can do within a specific chat room is on a roadmap.
Well, that snarkiness and the irreverence was because you guys were being snarky and irreverent, and so it will move along. It does. I've set it up to keep track of the sentiments of the individual that it's talking to. So it does have a feel for that. And so as a group changes its nature, it kind of moves along with it. So it could come back, but that was hilarious. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's starting to get sarcastic, and that kind of blew me away too. Um, that's the fun thing about working with AI and machine learning, by the way, is you really don't know what you're going to get back when you work on it. And so it's very interesting. And there's so many layers we work through before we even get to the natural language processing part. That's the easy part. Sending everything we process and all the data as a payload to then get the NLP to come back with a response. Um, Everything ahead of that is the hard part.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that we were one of the first, if not the first ones, to test out the actual ability to monetize this through advertisements. I
Right.
think we had an ad on there, and maybe you were just testing out that feature, but I don't think I've seen too many ads since. It sounds like you're going up with a completely freemium model. Is that something that you're kind of biding your time? But do you see ads being a part of the revenue model for maybe free users? And can you kind of explicate a little bit more about the overall business model of the
Yeah.
bot?
Well, right now we have Canine as a project that's planning to launch in about 3 weeks. So they just got a plug. They asked for about 2 months of reserved space on that ad. And so they basically sponsored us for quite a while. And I'm very appreciative of that. So it's a win-win that when other projects are leaning in and helping you out, even before they launch. And that's what we're about ultimately as a partnership. We're a direct partner with the Shiba Inu community. And so a lot of what we do is in lockstep with them. So we take our cues and sometimes even outright, we would really like if you work in that direction with us, very sincerely. And so we aren't pushing it too hard. Eventually, we'll add more to it. Right now, our main objective is growth and get it into many groups as possible. And then all that will come.
Yeah, and I think that you guys obviously have built up a big enough name for yourselves that people aren't going to be so threatened. I find that the industry leaders in a lot of these things, the mass adopted bots, smaller tokens have less of a problem with those having advertisements on them compared to, someone new and starting out and,
Right.
trying to basically piggyback or ride like a remora eel or whatever they are on the them being a bigger project. So you guys having a big name definitely builds that trust to allow them in the telegrams.
I think the intent is as long as you don't make it very intrusive, like one little text line helps a lot. And if you're offering a service where people actually like it enough that they want to keep it in there, they're willing to tolerate it, right? It's like watching when you're playing a mobile game app, and every now and then you got to watch the advert so you can get your free coins. Um, that's kind of like it is. I am thinking of making the ad free mode. I just need time to sit down and code it up where people can just send in like zero point 0.1 ETH or whatever, and you can get rid of the ad. Um, I can see that might be a bit popular, and it would help us out because we would burn that as a bad tokens. And that's the concept we have with Burns, is it's tied to utility.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, man. It does make sense to me. I know us as a company, if we had a bot like that installed, we definitely would rather send in 0.1 ETH than have ads in our community in some regard. And so having
Right.
both those options for smaller tokens that maybe can't afford it but still want the bot, and then having that ability, it adds direct revenue to Bad Idea. And on the flip side, it gives them more customizability over what they allow within their chat room.
Yeah, exactly. The more options, the better. That's why we got the menus where you can have those different modes. So, like, if you got a group that has more of a business sense, you could set it in that tone. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to make it as configurable as possible. And with one person at the helm, it just simply takes time. That's all it is. It's a matter of time, and we'll get it all in there.
Yeah, I'm also curious about the other utility, but like you said, man, if it's absolutely true, because CoinMerge has had a long history of, hey, we came up with an idea. Here it is. We're going to do this. And, at some point, and just watching those ideas, they do get taken, man. People are paying attention. They do see a good idea. And sometimes they just see it by osmosis. They're not directly trying to steal an idea, but they just hear it. It's like musicians, they hear like a riff, and then all of a sudden it's in their head, and then they think they wrote it, when it comes out later. So it's definitely important to keep your cards close to chest until you release a full utility.
Yeah, this one has me excited. The only hint I'll drop is everyone has actually seen it on full display at least once. And it was very exciting. And I'll just leave it at that. It was not even recently. And so it was a while back. But I think you guys will enjoy it. It's just time. It's very difficult tech. It's not on Discord or Telegram. But when this comes out, I think they'll add another spark for us.
Nice. So you guys are also on a couple centralized exchanges already, right? What are you guys on so far?
Oh, geez. Bitget, Mexi, we got Bitmart, L Bank. Oh, geez, we got several more smaller ones as well. We also have placed liquidity on more than one decentralized exchange besides Uniswap. We're also on SushiSwap and ShibaSwap, and with ShibaSwap being a strategic placement for what's coming in the future. And I always place liquidity on decentralized exchanges first, laterally, left and right, before I go for the centralized exchanges.
Yeah, I mean,
so
for me, I always like for a small cap at a $1 million market cap, at a 500K market cap, even a 2 or 3 million market cap, it can be a death sentence to try to go to a CEX too early. Especially if you're giving tokens to that CEX, and you've given them 5% of your supply because they require $30,000 of tokens. I mean, we have had long conversations on the ups and downs of CEXs, which obviously we don't have to break into fully right now.
Yeah.
But
if you start too early, you end up giving up too many tokens, and then you're going to have to reallocate those tokens from the first exchanges over to others, and it just becomes a big hassle and a fight with the exchange. Yeah. And so, yeah, I always recommend to beef up that decentralized liquidity first.
But you guys hit like 130 million market cap. What was your all-time high?
Oh, geez. Fully diluted, I think, was in the 140s. Circulating, we just hit over 100 right around the Toronto conference. And note to self, oh man, I hate the impact of conferences on tokens. But needless to say, yeah, we're hovering around where we are now, working our way up. Yeah, go ahead.
If you actually look at where you're hanging around now, as well as where we're hanging around now, and you look at the SHIB ecosystem, you look at Bone, you look at Shiba Inu itself, and you look at Treat, they're all about 10x down from all-time high. So I do think that Bad being an official partner with the Shiba Inu ecosystem is going to move a little bit with it. Like all of us, if Bone is sending and ETH is sending, I think you guys will send too. And I know that for us, our main pair is Bone, which was a bold move. We'll see if it pays off. But we're going to be moving with that probably too as we've kind of cozied up to Shiba Inu ecosystem, which we could talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, we're planning to bridge over, and when we do, our pair will be Bone as well. And looking forward to that. We're waiting for other moves from the bigger Shiba community to lay down first, so that we
We
can
are as well.
yeah, we're trying to work in lockstep with that, and it can be a test of patience. And I get it, and I understand that. At the same time, we want all these techs to come to one point in time and line up.
Yeah,
So,
it's
mhm,
typically marketing works best as a big boom of a lot of things rather
exactly.
than just slow trickling in, because it's never enough to break the sellers, and catalyst just slow trickle sometimes. So no, I think that when everything happens with Shiba, it's going to be a huge explosion. I mean, it's been like 2 years of consolidation at this price, right?
Right.
Functionally across the Shiba Inu ecosystem as a whole. Obviously, you guys had new all-time highs a little bit more recently than that, but nonetheless, I think when it all explodes, it's all going to explode. But it has been a test of patience, and for us as well, we're waiting for some of the more official infrastructure. I'm excited about K9. I assume you're excited about K9 as well. Those guys are extremely professional, extremely knowledgeable, and I hope that their launch and utilities are going to bring, and they're bridging as well. I assume you guys are building your own bridge and they're building their own bridge, or are you guys collaborating on that?
We, for Bad Idea AI, will be a part of someone else's bridge. When you're a partnership, you get to work a bit closer with Shiba, but that also means you got to make some sacrifices. So it may not mean that we're going to be able to do everything on our timeline. I mean, we could have bridged half a year ago if we wanted to. But that would not have fulfilled some other needs that need to be synced up, because our overarching mission is to support Shibarium overall in every project. And I think this will make more sense when I think more things are put together and laid down in terms of infrastructure. But eventually we do need to get on Shibarium. It only makes sense. But we are a
Yeah,
level one project, and we started before the Shane went live. So we're in a different position.
I think a lot of people that have already done the process of bridging to Shibarium, just bridging Bone, not their tokens necessarily,
Right.
uh, are looking for an excuse to trade on it. They're waiting for it to get hyped. They've got their Bone over there, and I don't want to dismiss any of the projects, including some of our own, that are on the Shibarium blockchain, but obviously the volume still has a long way to come, and so do some of the more institutional investors and things like that. But it's one of those things where things seem dead until they're not, and that's how crypto works. Things go from 0 to 60 overnight. So I think, for example, if Bone went up to $2, I think there'd be tons of trading on Shibarium, right? Even right now, without any
Right.
additional infrastructure. So it's a lot of building. We know Shiba Inu is building. We know Bad Ideas building. Us over here at CoinMerge Technologies are building.
So when we do bridge, we'll be able to bring significant resources in because we already have all these exchanges that we're on. And we've been working with them to get them to adopt Shibarium. So that's another thing that we're doing behind the scenes to support the overarching layer two, is that people don't recognize that on several of these exchanges, we've been talking to them, giving them instructions on how to integrate with the layer two, because that's the easiest way, well, or of many ways to bridge over. So when we do finally bridge over and our smart contracts running on Shibarium, all of a sudden now on all these other exchanges, we'll probably have another 8 bridging opportunities to go alongside with it. And
Well,
so
I didn't
we're
even think
bringing,
about that.
yeah, so we bring everything that we have with us when we go to Shibarium. And that's why I'm saying why we're doing a lot of waiting, is because we want to bring full bore everything we can, so that if somebody on Big Get wants to hop on a Shibarium with their bad tokens, they can, which then leads to the next business question of why would someone want to come over with their bad tokens? Great, I transferred it over, I paid a fee, I'm on a Shibarium, what should I do? So we would like them to lock it up or set it aside. No strings attached, whatever it is, but incentivize them to come on over. So that's where you're going to find the staking pools and yield and other opportunities to use the token, including participating in a future DAO, for example, which may include needing to have SHIB identity. So then you start cross-connecting a variety of things together for use.
Yeah, and you also start to increase the total value locked of again, it's going to be a bone pair over there. So not only the bad idea tokens, including the increasing the total value locked, but also bone. And as I think more projects start to do that, I think that we'll definitely see higher market caps and higher trading. The other thing that is cool that you mentioned, which I didn't even think about, is currently, for anyone that doesn't know this, the off-ramping of bone takes 7 days, which in my opinion is a huge barrier to adoption. So, I mean, could functionally someone buy bad idea, bridge it a lot quicker from blockchain to blockchain, just as a way to on-ramp and off-ramp money to and fro and increasing the bad idea volume, which has pretty solid liquidity pools?
I've always wondered how the centralized exchanges in this case work out. And I know there's another bridge coming out tomorrow. And I don't know what if the same restrictions apply to their bridge as applies to others. So I don't know. So I'm not going to pretend and tap dance in front of everyone with the bullshit hand.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the honesty. Sharby's launching a bridge. I should definitely give those guys a shout out because they're Shiba Inu loyalists, they're Shibarium loyalists, and to me, they've definitely proven themselves. I was interviewing them a year ago, and they're still here working. And to me, I don't know about you, Mr. Lightspeed, but longevity speaks a lot to me in this space. If a project is gone on a year and they're still working, that tells me a lot about their character.
It does, and they're good people as well, and I appreciate them. Some of them have helped me out at times when I needed it. So we got a good community. We got a good developer community overall, and I think that helps a lot. And by lifting each other up, and even the smaller projects, I think that helps. That's why I pinned one of the posts that we're helping to sponsor some of the smaller projects with the gold tick mark to help expand their reach.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's nice of you to kind of reach out and help those smaller projects and let them carry an affiliate badge with you, which can inherently come with risks, I assume as well, like if a token. Yeah. So obviously you want to make sure you know who's behind it and things of that nature. But man, I got to be honest, I found a lot of good people on Shibarium, a lot of really honest devs working hard. So anyway, maybe that's just my experience. Maybe there's more scams out there than I think, but I've seen a lot of really good people. But I think it's a nice segue to talk a little bit about what we're doing over at CoinMerge, if you don't mind, and then talking about some of the ways we could work together potentially.
There are some very good ways we can work together. Let's hit it.
Yeah, so just for anyone who's not aware, CoinMerge Technologies, represented by the tokens hashtag CMOS, which stands for CoinMerge Operating System, we've been a company for 3 years in July, so almost 3 years now. Been a token for almost 3 years. We've had a lot of interesting trading history. We work with a lot of investment groups. We hit, I believe, a 40 million market cap ourselves at our all-time high, and we've just been kind of working to build a lot of different tech and our name brand within the space. So if you haven't heard of CoinMerge Technologies, I guess you have now. We do tons of Twitter spaces. You'll constantly see us on X. That's become really our short-term bread and butter for basically not only like social valuation and making connections and reaching out and networking, but also in some cases, some financial connection. We do take money for certain AMAs and other kinds of promotion services that we do, which partially goes back to fueling CMOS, especially as, our bottom line kind of increases. We can pay for centralized exchanges, token buybacks and burns, all sorts of different things. To date, I think we've burned like 4% of the supply, I believe, since we relaunched about a year ago. So we're, but we hope that a lot of our as our revenue increases, our burn rates will increase. So I just kind of laying out what this cash tag CMOS is and how it relates is we are looking to dwindle the supply. We're currently at 1 million market cap, which is definitely down. But like we said, tokens come up and down, and that's kind of part of it. So yeah, the promotional services we do, if you're interested in connecting with us on promotional services, definitely don't hesitate to reach out. And if you want to get connected to anything at all, I think that we generally can help. We are really well networked, having been in the space for 3 years. We're friends with people like Mr. Lightspeed. We're friends with, the official Shiba Inu team. We're friends with tons of developer communities. We've got partners who have engineers. So if you need engineers, if you need like listing help or trending help or anything that you need in crypto as a startup, we kind of sit there as a little bit of a decentralized launch, not like an official launch pad, but we're here to help. That's how I kind of describe CoinMerge, because our main goal in the DeFi sector is to push decentralized finance forward by highlighting some of the best utilities that are being built out there. So we love when projects like Bad Idea AI are building fantastic utilities that are going to make the cryptocurrency trading experience better. We've seen a lot of those come up in recent days. I think the caliber of project that I've seen, the caliber of technology is vastly different than 2021. I mean, in 2021, you built a swap and you went to 100 million market cap. And now if you build a swap, it better be able to have like 600 functions, anti-MEV functions. And that should only be part of your ecosystem, because it's still not going to be enough. So man, we've seen a lot of development within this market sector, and it makes me really bullish on this upcoming market cycle. But regardless, to digress, we are a promotional company. And that's kind of been our bread and butter. In the